going on, everybody? Hold on, I gotta make sure that y'all got like a complete full picture of the boobish. Can I scoot up a little bit more? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Grown Talk with Goddess.
At least tilt the mic towards you if you're gonna do all that.
Really?
Yeah, tilt the mic. No, you ain't got it. But I'm saying just tilt it
Oh,
towards you.
tilted towards me.
There you go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. You
Okay. Okay. All right. So, special week. I was not here last week. As y'all know, or
We know.
a couple people know,
All
I had
them photos and stuff. We know.
yes. I went through it. I had eye surgery done on my right eye, and then I couldn't see, and I was supposed to have gotten cleared to wear my contact lenses so that I can drive again, and I had my baby father chauffeuring me all over the place, and it sucks when you have to like depend on like mad people to do things for you. It
Well,
has
especially when you're used to just getting up and going.
word. It's really it has not been the best, but not like I was supposed to do it. I ended up putting a contact lens in my eye yesterday or the day before yesterday because I had to drive out to Delaney's house and I had to be able to see. A couple nights before I was real sad. I was scared to put the contact in, but I still have stitches in my eye. So I'm not supposed to have a contact in. But if I didn't have a contact in, I wouldn't have been able to get to where I was going and I wouldn't have been here today. So I had to do what I had to do, from what I understand. I did it. But I feel good. I can see it's going to be beautiful once the swelling goes down. It's still a little swollen, and I got my hair covering. I put some makeup on.
We know the truth, but go ahead. Tell me it was surgery. We know what happened.
I got fucked up. No, I was kidding. Yo, can you imagine?
No, you was crazy. Like for those, for people who don't know you, they're looking at you like, I can't believe that woman let somebody put their hands on her like that. Whatever.
I look crazy. All right, so I have this shirt on, and like big ass shout out to like one of the sexiest guys I went to high school with that I did not remember back then at all.
Wow.
We had a conversation like years later. And he's like, I went to high school with you, and I'm like, no way. And then, then I started doing some research on him, and I was looking at him, and I'm like, eh. But anyway, big shout out to my boy Biddy Townsend. He started his own black-owned business. The name of the clothing line that he started, and it's not just clothes, it's hats, it's shoes. I'd fuck me, and it stands out. I mean, not only does he stand out, but it stands out. I like it. He's been doing so good. He's been posting up all of his sales and everything on social media. I actually just took pictures with the shirt on and sent them to him, so maybe he'll put them up on social media. I told him I was going to do something on for the show, which I'm doing. So I got me a little special shirt, and as he said, it looks very nice on me. So big shout out to Betty, and I hope you do really good with that, sweetheart. I support the black-owned business. I appreciate the time it took you to get the shirt made and get to me. And one other thing that's really cute is when he came and delivered the shirt, it came in a little bag.
Oh, wow.
It's so
Okay.
cute.
Well, you know what? I tell people that you put all that into creating something like that.
Right.
It makes it more like it's not going to come in this little plastic. That takes a little more effort. And what I love about it, when you said "I'd fuck me," I'm like, damn, dog, how you going? And then I said, oh, he put FCUK.
Yeah.
So I was like, brilliant, dog, brilliant.
I didn't know how to actually pronounce it, but
Right.
Even my son was like, "Yo, Ma, you got to get me one of these. I want one of these shirts." If you look at it real quick, first thing I'd fuck me.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if there's any other way to pronounce it, but
Well, I said the way he put the C in front of the U,
yeah,
it saves him from having to put the asterisks or anything like that on the shirt. So
right.
he definitely has a good mind doing this. What's good, Project?
Yes. So again, shout out to Mr. Biddy Townsend. I got your shirt on, boo. I love it, and I fuck me too. So
Make sure y'all check him out. That's his IG name right there.
Yep.
IDCUKME.
Yep.
Let him know you heard about him from Grown Talk with Goddess.
Absolutely. Yay, that's so exciting. All right, guys. So, getting to the show topics this week. Like I said, I didn't really have much eyes. So, what I did was, I did put up my stuff um, a little early this week. Truth ain't gonna give me my credit for it because he only just seen it like yesterday. But I've had it up. I've had it up all week.
I had the craziest week at work. Like, they definitely got their money's worth out of me all week last week, yo.
Yeah.
Real talk.
You know what though? It kept you busy, right?
No, it's a good thing, but it's just like, I don't work until shit break down. That's the type of job I have. But with so many construction and things going on, I had to be in the mix. And, like, I'm the go-to guy at that facility. So my phone is going crazy. This one wants time. That one wants time. This one's working on that. This one's working on that. So, like I said, they earned their money from me last week.
See that? Well, that's good.
Definitely.
That's good. Get some rest this week. Are you resting this weekend?
I mean, I did. Well, I go back to work tomorrow morning, but
No.
get off from here. I got time to relax and let my hair down.
He said, "Let his hair down." He's so cute. All right, so let's put up the first topic. I'm not even on Facebook, but I was asked this question a couple of years ago, and if you got my answer a couple of years ago as opposed to now, you know what? I don't know when Michelle's going to start doing her show, but I want her to talk to me now and ask me those same questions now that she asked me back then, because a lot has changed. I want a synopsis.
What was it, a year? Yeah, you could definitely
It's
do
been
a
over
follow-up.
a year now.
Yeah,
It's
hit
been
her up.
over.
Hit her up.
Okay. But a lot has changed for me. My whole mentality, everything. So I threw this question up because I was asked this, and I wanted to see what anybody and everybody thought about it. Is it possible for someone to love you but not know how to show you? Can it be true if it's not shown? Again, I don't comment on any of my posts on Facebook, but I like to see what people have to say.
Right.
Shout out to Eric Daniel Ash. He said, yes, there were times when I was younger I didn't know how to show I love someone. So then I asked him, okay, well, if you don't know how to show somebody how you feel about them, how do you prove it to them? You know, like for me, I'm like one of those type of people, okay, fine, tell me that the sky is blue.
Right.
I want to go outside myself and see that
You
the
wanna
damn
prove
sky
it.
is
Okay,
blue. Like
okay.
you got, like things got to be proven to me. And after a while, you keep saying something. It's not going to change it if it's not ever being proven. So, you know, I asked him that, and he you know, just basically said that he knew what to do, but it ended up that the person that he was referring to
Right.
ended up messing up, cheating on him and everything long down the road. So I told him he dodged a bullet. Shout out to Iris Mateo, Francis. She said, yes, it's very possible. I have someone I'm in love with, and he's in love with me, but we are no good together. Toxic.
Oh, she gotta really we need her to really clarify that. That's it makes no sense to me, but okay.
Well, okay, here's my thing. No, I understand what she means. Sometimes, you love somebody and you want to make it work with them with every fiber in your being, but it's toxic. So
I'm sorry, that makes no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you believe that two people that are in love with each other should always be together?
Well, I mean, first of all, you already know how I feel about that word love. But at the end of the day, we will do anything and everything in our power to make things work that we want to work. Period. But unfortunately, what's good, Juju? Unfortunately, we're so selfish as individuals that we forget that we have to worry about someone else's feelings in it, to where it doesn't always have to be about us. And we can't get past that. Because at the end of the day, if this person makes me happy, and I make that person happy, it's not about having your way. It's about I always say it's about turning me into we. And it's what do we need to do to make this situation work? And you have some people who just aren't willing to give their selfish ways up to make it work.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that's the greatest person in the world. No.
Okay.
Because if
but-
that was the case, I would do anything in my power to not lose that person.
Aw, really?
And then if you find someone that just does it for you, and then unfortunately, once you get past the physicality of it, no matter how fat the butt is, the pretty the face is, the breast is, what the man junk is looking like in those gray sweatpants with no drawers on.
Ooh.
Once you get past all that, at the end of the day, we have to be able to have a conversation. We have to be able to interact in any and everything other than just the bedroom. You have to get past that. And again, you can't say, you have to say to yourself, what do I want? And what am I willing to do to get it?
Okay. I mean, but what if somebody?
Yes.
Okay.
No, come on, say it.
Okay, all right. Getting back to the whole selfish thing. Yeah.
Okay.
How, if someone is already so set in their ways, do they change that about themselves? And are we not?
Well, you said the wrong word right there, change. Now, there are people who are willing to grow, but there are people there's people willing to grow, but you can't change a person.
Yeah,
Now,
no.
every person goes into something unknowledgeable about you and the situation that you're in because every situation is new. But at the end of the day, if I'm willing to grow with you, then yeah, I'm willing to make minor little sacrifices or great sacrifices for the betterment of the relationship. But a lot of people, when it comes to relationship, they just want the person to change to their way, and that's it. There is no ifs, ands, and buts. It has to be this way. That's not how a relationship works. But there are some things that, yes, you are not willing to bend on, then that's not the person for you.
Yeah.
But then we keep getting mad because that person won't bend to our will.
Right.
When that person already showed you. It
Right.
ain't happening.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? I'm not getting personal. I will not get personal, but I completely understand what you're saying.
Right.
I know what you mean. Shout out to Bobby Phoenix. He says, absolutely. Most of us are not taught how to express ourselves properly. We're more raised on survival instead of love. True.
Facts.
True. 100%. I
Facts.
said the same shit. And I thank him so much for commenting because he never comments on any of my posts. He's always talking this,
Well, I mean, that was from the heart.
boogity boogity. Yeah, yeah.
That was from the heart.
So shout out to him. Tonica, Carmelita Lowe, which happens to be a new friend of mine who I know messaged me and told me that she liked the show and that's why she became my friend. She found
Right.
me.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. She said, nah, when dudes love you, you know it and they show it.
Well, they always said, men love
true.
hard. And
No, men love completely different than women.
no, I think men love harder than women. And this
Hell
is why
no.
you have so many men who are scared to actually give up their, I guess, I don't want to say freedom, but give up their single ways because they're scared to be hurt. Because it's easier or quicker for a woman to go out there and find someone faster than a man because men are savages.
I don't know how true that is. It's been really hard. Well, in the past, it has been very hard for me to find somebody.
I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're looking for. You can find a man that want to bust your ass. It's just hands down. But at the end of the day, it's what you're looking for. But then you have, certain guys, and you have certain age brackets. Once certain men get to a
God.
certain age bracket,
That's a
either
lie.
they're broken
They're
or
lies.
they're looking for,
That's a lie.
true commitment.
Well, what's the age bracket?
Well, me personally, I think after
I need to
20,
know.
after 27, a man should grow the fuck up. That's just me. That's past college.
27?
That's past college. You had enough time to, bust as many chicks' ass as you need to. Now it's all about house, commitment, love, true love. We're talking about someone you can build something with, not someone you can take care of. We're talking about adult shit.
Okay. Wow. Shout out to Tia Bethay. She said, of course, I've had several
Yo, I
people...
love her fucking name, yo.
Tia Bethay?
Yeah, sound like niggas should be eating her box out on a regular basis, like buffet. You know what I'm saying? She got a great name, yo.
I can't wait, man. She says, of course, I've had several people in my life that were just like this. Once they realized how they truly felt and how they fucked up, it was too late. I still get text messages of how sorry they are and how much they realize they lost a great friend slash family member. It is what it is, which is true.
Well, see,
You
that's
know,
the greatest thing right there.
I can't get rid of none of my exes. They don't ever leave me alone. None
I mean,
of them.
it's the fact because you don't
No.
make it happen.
What don't make it happen?
Because you don't leave it. You don't leave them yourself.
I do leave them.
No, you don't.
I mean,
You don't.
no, okay.
Just because you're
Hold
not
on.
in a committed relationship with them
To my-
doesn't mean you left them.
To my defense, I've left them alone and I've had children. But all of the people that are my exes, I've had kids with. Like everybody I've been in a relationship with, I have a child with.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like all of my.
I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like a person knows what level they're with, or they're at with the person.
Yeah.
Like there are people out here who have baby mothers and baby daddies that they know they can't fuck with on any level to this day. And there are others, you know, at the end of the day, on the right day, you still can smash.
I was about to say, isn't that like the overall rule? Can't you always go back to your baby mother? Your
It
father?
depends on how
I'm just kidding.
how toxic. No, it is true. It really depends on how toxic it is.
Yeah, you know what? Tony Williams. Oh my God. Oh no, he didn't. On this one, he didn't write the essay. He wrote
Oh,
the essay
shit.
on the other one. Shout out to Tony. He said, "I'm seriously asking, how the hell do you not know how to show someone that you love them? Also, why the hell would you even tell somebody that you love them and you know that you don't? Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I love you, but afterwards, I'm just going to wait for you to tell me the same and do the things for me simply because I said it. Statements like that cost big time. Put some actions behind those words or keep your mouth shut. Straight up. To me, when a man loves a woman, when a woman loves a man, everything that comes out of them should be like a natural type thing. Like I'm sending my sweetheart this text message to let her know that I'm thinking about her and that I love her. Or I'm going to tell my girl to come out here and check me because I miss her and I love her. Like things, I'm going to touch her, I'm going to hug her. You know, like those things like that shouldn't come forced. I find with me, shit like that comes forced.
Well, I mean, I will say this. What's good, Tone?
Hey, Tony.
I would say this. I'm not a hugger. I'm not a like massively affectionate guy, and it's just me.
have something to say.
And I get.
You gave me a hug.
Huh?
You
When
hugged
did
me.
that fuck shit happen?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just somebody in a relationship. I know what you're saying. But it's just more lines of like in a relationship. I'm not the let's spoon after sex type person.
Ooh,
And
I got something to say.
unfortunate, yeah,
You would definitely spoon with me.
absolutely not. You'd have bumped your fucking head. But to me, it's just something as far as my childhood that bothers me.
Right.
And like I said, like everybody knows who's watched, I've never been not up for it about it, whatever. I've been sexually assaulted by a male and a female. So growing up, my mind has always been, so it's me. It's not the person. I've grown up to be hard and hardened. So it's not that I don't care about the person or whatever. It's just that I'm not that affectionate person
Okay.
who's going to be, oh my God, let me hold your hand. I'll slap the shit out of you, grab my hand.
I want that. I want a sensitive guy like
Well,
that.
see, and then like saying, then you need to like structure your search or whatever. But like I said, I don't spoon, I don't hold hands. I ain't no massive hugger type person.
Okay. Shout out to Prodigy. I know she's there.
Yep.
She says, yes, I feel some men lack emotionally, especially earth signs. Some of the men could be stubborn and like wet blanket when it comes to the heart.
See,
gotta fit
I always,
earth sign.
I always
I'm
thought.
an earth sign.
Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
Here's the thing I'll say about that. There are people that are like Goddess would like someone emotional and stuff like that. There are people out there like that. Just go search for those. And if a person shows you that that's not them, keep moving.
Yeah.
But we stick around, and unfortunately our arrogance and ego makes us feel that we can change and,
Right.
what I try to explain to dudes and females all the time, every man got a penis, homie. They may be different shapes and sizes, but every man got a penis.
Man, fuck that
And
shit.
for women, every woman got a vagina, for shorties. Some may be in, some may be out, lips
Ew.
or whatever different situations
Listen.
may be. But at the end of the day, every woman got a vagina.
Yeah, but
So
not
you're not
everybody-
that special.
Not everybody got that WAP.
Yeah, all right. That shit doesn't exist.
Yes, it does.
You just got women that want to please a man and women and men who want to please a woman. Some don't. But at the end of the day, they all got vaginas and penises.
Yeah, but some of those vaginas are trash. If you got good pussy, ladies, if you got and are getting good dick from a guy, make it work. Guys, if you're out there getting good head and good pussy from a woman, make that shit work. Cause it's
Don't
not,
do it, fellas. Don't listen to Goddess.
It's
Because
not.
you're dealing with the bullshit that go on top of that. That I had you spending thousands of dollars for no fucking reason.
Yo, I know my pussy
Biggest
is good.
headaches
Ain't
or whatever.
nobody spent no $1,000 on me.
Here's what I'm saying is, you chasing somebody.
I get
like,
1,000 sperm.
You
in
got
me.
mad dudes spending, paying chicks rents and shit like that.
I ain't never met one of them dudes.
Keep searching, they out there. But at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, you know, I think people, we love to be fooled, we love to be lied to, we love to be fooled, and we believe that we're that one. We're one in a million. We're the ones that can change you. We're the ones that can make you do something different. And then you always question yourself every third day why the fuck you did it.
Yo, word. Yo, I feel you on that. But it's true. Your comment was next, and it's basically what you just said. You said, yeah, as long as you don't mind lying to yourself,
Pretty much.
basically. Shout
Well,
out
it
to-
is. It is. You know, at the end of the day, because we've all done it. We've all had the conversation with ourselves, and we all know that certain times, in certain situations, we had to con ourselves into staying into something or to go see someone or whatever the situation may be.
David Brown, he left the last comment on the post. He said, yeah, sometimes people are really bad for you, so you have to love them from far away.
Why love him at all?
That's what I was about to say. If I'm with someone and things don't work out, or whatever the case is, or you fuck me over and things just ain't working, or whatever, things just ain't working, I'm not loving you in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's weird for me because as fast as I can fall in love with somebody or feel the feeling of love for someone,
Right.
I can click right off of it and feel hate. Does that make me crazy?
That's not crazy. It's like we all have our limits, and you know, we all have a threshold of things that we're willing to do or put up with, and everyone has their limit. And it's just, you know, not everyone's limit gets reached, which is why, again, a lot of people stay. But, you know, it's all about your individual limit, what you're willing to put up with, what you're not willing to put up with. And there are a lot of people out here that are getting taken advantage of, that are not getting the same effort that they're putting in. But again, you know, it's what's your limit? You know, how true do you want, truly do you actually want to be loved or cared about, or really have someone who generally gives a fuck about you?
A lot, man, a lot. It's just
I ain't even talking about you because that
fucking
shit doesn't
sex just
exist
be
when it
so
comes.
good.
It-
Yo,
You really brainwashed.
am
Because
I?
I don't give a fuck how wet, tight the pussy is. If I gotta go through a headache with it, kick rocks. So I would say to you, at the end of the day, you need to get to a point to where you're able to grow the fuck up. And I
Yeah.
say that with all the love and I could give you. But at the end of the day, if all you can say is, oh shit, the dick is so good. Well, how does he treat you? The dick is so good. How is he around the kids? The dick is so good. You know, it comes a point when if that's your answer to everything, the fact that you laughing, we know that's all you keep saying is, well, the dick is so good. And that's what I mean, like,
No, because you said how are the kids? The dick is so,
so
good.
good. We've all done it. Some did it during the course of their life or whatever. We've always conned ourselves because no one knows us but as well as we do. So we know what to do, what to say to get ourselves to motivate to keep messing with the person. And I did it with my wives. I came up with the biggest excuses in the world when I wasn't fucking happy. Just because I did not want to start over. I put too much time and effort into it. Why do I want to start over with someone new? Because I want to fucking be happy. That's what I would tell my old self.
Yo,
Because the dick was good. Why ain't making a sandwich? Because the dick was
the
good.
dick was so good.
Like I said, because we've run across that. Like I told you right now, the most toxic person for me was the greatest piece of pussy I ever had.
Damn.
It was.
Ooh.
You know, I took trips to Louisiana for it on the plane. But again, it didn't bring me anything but a nut. After the nut, what else was there?
Damn, that sucks, yo. All right, so here's my thing about this.
Yes.
We'll sum this up, and then we'll go on to the next topic. For me, if a man or a woman truly loves the person that they're with, their natural feelings should come out. Shouldn't be forced out. The way you see these people in these fucking music videos and these love scenes, like pretending that they love each other, I think that should be how it is. Like when you truly love someone, it shouldn't be a bother to touch them and make them feel love. You know, I do understand that some people have a harder time showing it, but then at the same time, if that's the case, at least accept if someone is trying to offer you help or to show you how they want to be loved. If you want to make things work with that person,
You
should
said it.
definitely
You
take
said
that
it
risk.
hands down. One thing you have to say is first you have to understand the way you want to be loved.
Right.
In the right way. We're not talking about, I want a nigga to buy me this and that.
Nah.
No. We're talking about true love, caring, respect. But you also have to understand the individual you're dealing with. Just because the person doesn't show you the love you wanted to doesn't mean they don't care about you.
Is
So
there
you-
a
you-
difference between
It,
care
it, there
and
is, it is. Me personally, I don't think love exists. I always tell people that. But at the end of the day, like me, there are people, like you said, you love to have the spoon and to hold hands and all this other stuff, and that's not me. But that doesn't mean that a person doesn't care about you because they're not that person who doesn't want to be truly loved and cuddled and stuff. It's just that everyone loves differently.
I'm trying to get a
What?
was trying to get a good picture there of myself.
Oh.
But I understand what you're saying.
So like I said, everyone loves differently. But again, if the person's showing you that they truly care, like showing you, it's just not the way you want them to show. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It's just that you guys on two different pages.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't hold hands. Just because I don't hold your hand don't mean I don't care about you. I don't like to hold hands. I think it's a human leash.
Yo, you know what? You don't cuddle, you don't hug, you don't like holding hands. Savage.
You ain't lying.
Okay. A mess, man. On to the next topic. Now, this topic here was one that I put on my show the week before I went for my surgery. And I just got to give Prodigy a big shout out because she's texting my phone and wants me to give her a shout out because she drove me home from having my surgery.
She want a shout out for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I can also give her a shout out for eating all my fucking Pepperidge Farms Chessman cookies too.
You don't leave them shits out. It's your fault. Them shits is.
I took them to the beach with me. She said, "Can I get a cookie?" And I was like, "Yeah." No, she goes, "Can I have some cookies?" And I said, "Well, there's a whole they come with like levels."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, how many are in there?" She said, "Quite a few." So I said, "You could take some." She said, "No, I want them all." So I'll give her a shout out for eating my bag of Chessman Pepperidge Farm cookies, my favorite cookies, as well as the ride home. Thanks, Prodigy. All right, so this topic right here, getting our ass whooped. Did it help us or did it hurt us?
Okay.
Okay, I had to comment on this, and like I said, I don't comment on my posts. Let me get my voice ready because Tony wrote an essay on here. Shout out to Tony. But he wasn't the first one. Shout out to Eric Daniel Ash. He said both. I got the belt a lot when I was little.
Eric is bad as shit, you could tell.
White boy, yes. He was definitely bad. Richard Walls, he said it helps. Lack of it hurts. He said it's being held accountable for your actions. If you know doing something, if you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, the end result is the belt. Once you took away that there has to be a different treatment. I asked my sister. I had to tag my sister in the post,
Right.
and I'm bringing the reason why. When we were growing up, it was never my mother who did the beating at home. It was always my dad.
Okay. Pops had the stern hand.
Yes, we had this belt. It was like this thick, like this long, like this thick, wide, guys, and it was called the Dr. Brown. Like it was a big long leather, big long and leather. And he had like a hand part cut out so that you can hold it like a baseball bat. And we kept it. My father kept it in the hallway pantry with all the towels for the bathroom.
Right.
And that's what the fuck me and my sister got beat with. And it could have been for anything. We was loud. We was getting beat. We was going to take a shower, and then we was getting beat by Dr. Brown. And there was one time my father, we had taken the Dr. Brown and we had hidden it. My father couldn't find it, but he was adamant about beating my sister for something stupid.
Right.
So he found a Barbie doll on the floor. He put the arms up. You know how the Barbie dolls have the arms that go up? He lifted the arms up on the Barbie doll and whooped my sister with the fucking Barbie doll with the arms up. As if leaving the arms down might have done something wrong. Or might have not have felt the
I mean,
same.
you had to get that extra extension.
But that's, you know, that's what we used to get beat with. Shout out to Craig Robinson. He's normally here. Where you at, Craig? He said both. I asked him to elaborate. I was hoping he would be here tonight. Bobby Phoenix, again, for the second post, he said he was more scared of getting whooped by his grandmother than anyone in the street. It helped him. Iris Mateo Francis, again, she said it depends. Some got beat for the hell of it, and some got beat for discipline. It all depends, I guess. Me personally, never got beat. I was a tough cookie. No one could put their hands on mom and dad. True story. Shout out to Christian Page. He said it both helped him and hurt him. Shout out
I
to
wish
my
you
cousin.
elaborated on that one.
Yeah. Me too. Let me see if I can get him to comment. He's always on Facebook. Shout out to my cousin, Trinika Robinson. She said, hell, Carol Lynette Jones. Dr. Brown always got down in our house. Now, she know. That's my cousin. She family. She said, help my ass, that along with the village who could help raise us back then. So that was, you know, that was her and her household.
Right.
For me, I commented on this post, and my comment was next, so I'm going to read it off next. I said, for me, it hurt me. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to blame this as the reason why I am who I am today. And maybe you'll get a little bit of an understanding as to the reason why now I don't beat my kids at all. Because I said early in the beginning, my mother was never the one who did the beating. It was always my father.
Right.
And it was always for reasons like that normal people shouldn't have been getting beat for. Like if we were reading the Bible and we skipped a word, we got beat. Stuff like that. So, because growing up, we were very Christian in our house. Like we went to a Christian school. We were very religious.
Okay.
So, you know, like that was one of the reasons why I got beat. If I couldn't say a Bible verse, and my father threw numbers at me, and I couldn't say what the verse was. I got beat for it. I took that.
Was he highly religious himself?
He was.
Okay.
He was. I took that with me growing up, and I attribute that to the reason why I was comfortable for many years in many domestic violence relationships that I had.
Okay, so that's what. Okay.
I was in a domestic violence relationship with the father of my kids for 11 years. And that was at the age of 26 when I met him. So, you know, like, give or take, I was still young. But before that,
right,
I was with the father of my other kids, Lisa and them dad. And there were times, too, where we would get into it and he would put his hands on me. And I wouldn't go into a fight back mode. I would go into break down mode. Okay. Like, once these guys knew that hitting me the way that they did, I wasn't going to do anything back, they kept going with it.
Yeah, you created that comfort level zone for them.
Right. Like, for a while, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, he loves me if he hits me, because my dad tells me all the time, I'm hitting you because I love you. And I'm putting on this extra pressure on you because you could be doing better. So in my mind, as Henry is beating the hell out of me and my kids are watching and they're crying and I'm accepting it and I'm dealing with it and I'm telling myself, and I'm with him for all these years because he loves me. he's doing this because he loves me.
Right.
You know, I think it fucked me up from being a child and getting beaten as much as I did for the senseless stuff I was doing. I was very rebellious. At 16, I was pregnant with my son. By 17, I had him. I didn't get beat for that. It was the stuff before that that led me to become the person that I was and,
Right.
and who I've become. You know, and even now I get knocked around a little bit every once in a while, and I'm a lot.
What?
No. I mean, like not beaten up, not like that, but like after me and Henry had that fight where I finally with him stood up to him and fought him back, like how I did Tina in the limo. You know, like I'll stand up for myself now.
Right.
So like if I'm play fighting, let's say me and Delaney are play fighting, and he'll pluck me in my forehead, I'll take it to the next level because I'm automatically in fight mode. You know, where he's playing around, you know, type shit.
Right,
with
right.
me. So I think it messed me up, beatings, honestly.
Sounds like it.
Shout out to Prodigy Malenko. She said I was hit with hands, belts, rulers, wiffle bats, and a switch, and I think maybe a tennis racket. And it did nothing but make me a violent child and a teen. It did not help anything, but made me emotionally depressed as a kid. I would not recommend hitting kids. Shout out to Shannon Gaddy. She responded to Prodigy. She said, to each his own. You're right in some cases. I can say I whooped my son about as many toes and fingers. The boy is so disrespectful to himself. You got to discipline the right way for the correct reasons because it will emotionally hurt. There's rules to this shit. She also said it helped her. I couldn't understand why then. I definitely understand now 100%. Ain't nothing wrong with disciplining your child. They need a good ass whooping when they do wrong. What you think wrong? What you think was wrong with most of them today? I was one of those mothers that said I ain't giving my kids beatings. It's not a beating if you're doing it for the right reasons. It comes back to saying, the blind leading the blind. Whoop that ass. Shout out to Douglas Grace. He said it helped him. It made him focus on being less ignorant and develop more self-respect.
Nice.
Shout out to Jermaine Jammer Clock. He said both. Depends on how it was applied. Shout out to Lauren.
Oh.
And I thought she was going to come in and say something on that last post, that love post, because, you know, she gushy like that, but she only liked it. She ain't comment on it. She said,
I mean, she met somebody.
uh-oh, I got to find out. She said, in my opinion, there is so much proven data out there that explains the negative effects of corporal punishment. I've debated this topic at length for years, and every time I ask supporters of spankings to find me just one credible source, article, psychologist, etc., who supports it, and they can't. I hear the same responses. I got beat and I turned out okay. No, you're not okay. Spanking children teaches them to be violent towards others. It teaches women that men can hit them. See? That's what it taught me. I was 100% being serious when I said that. I thought that the reason why I took as much shit as I did is because I used to get it so bad from my dad,
Right.
from a man. Maybe if the beatings were coming from my mom, it would have been different, a different feeling. I get, and just based off this picture, I get the idea that in a lot of households, it is the mother who's doing most of the discipline, and maybe because it's a single family home, I can't speculate. I grew up with both parents in the house, you know, but we were getting beaten, and it wasn't not a thing that I can say that would make it, oh yeah, it was good. Wilma came back at Lauren, and she wrote this long-ass speech. They was actually going back and forth with each other. It was good. She said, Lauren Mitchell, I beg to differ because I don't need to have a psychologist tell me what I know for a fact. I lived and am living with it and never considered it corporal punishment. The terminology alone is where the problem is. As a child, I was hit with a belt as a consequence of doing something that I was continually told not to do. I was warned and informed what the consequences would be. The saying, hard head makes a soft ass, comes from kids and adults punishing the boundaries until consequences are meted out. Granted, my uncle got me in trouble more than I got myself in trouble, and we got it. If one did something, then the other one would pay for it because that's how they grew up. but it taught me a lot of things. Mainly that I am my brother's keeper, as well as have a very keen sense of self-preservation. However, I clearly understood what I was getting punished for. The claim that corporal punishment leads to violence is a load of bullshit. Violence is a learned behavior or a reaction to triggers. There are way too many people who got their asses handed to them and did not turn out as violent individuals. Now, does that play for with your mental or emotional state? Absolutely. Fear is the number one response. How people respond to fear, the fight or the fight instincts, is where that supposed violent behavior comes from. For me, it put fear in my grandmother and me, but it also taught me to respect my elders, listen to what I was told. I was not raised to be a violent person, though I can become violent if pushed. Again, with the fight or flight instinct. I do not need anyone to tell me or show me psychological evaluations of what my mental state is currently due to facing consequences of my actions. I am high functioning, well adjusted, respectful, contributing member of society. I have never thought it was okay for a man to hit me, to hit one, unless it was okay with the consequences of my actions. That whole hit and get hit back motto, I strongly believe in it. For that matter, now that I am a parent, I can clearly understand why my village responds the way I did. With my children, whom I have used various methods of discipline, timeout, look, tone, voice, body language, talking, whooping that ass, popping inside the head, pinch, grounding, restrictions on gadgets, taking away their privileges, just to name a few. A few worked wonders, and others no results. My children are polar opposites. One an introvert with a wicked temper, and the other extrovert with a wicked temper. They are physically violent, but they will cut you emotionally with their words. However, they are also caring individuals who push the envelope to see where their boundaries are. What you are taught or not taught is what makes you who you are growing up. Some of the worst behaved and most violent criminals came from leave it to beaver type households where sparing the rod and spoiling the child was normal. Flip side to that is some of the most violent criminals in history also came from homes where they got shit kicked out of them and were treated badly. This is a whole nature versus nature debate as well. For me, psychologist is not going to be able to tell me how to manage my children's personality. So that fine balance of hold on. Fine balance of social alignment and mental health is met. At the end of the day, a psychologist telling someone what and how to raise their child might work until they walk a day in my shoes. Their findings don't faze me though, enough to me to put use to it. God damn, she wrote a lot.
Yeah.
Lauren came back and said there's
Uh-oh.
clear difference between opinions and facts. I was hit with a belt and also turned out fine. I knew full well when I posted my unpopular opinion that someone would disagree, and I'm okay with that. Wilma came back. She said it's actually not unpopular at all, or else there wouldn't be such a huge ongoing debate. Where I live, few of the school boards have made it mandatory to take parenting classes so that parent is taught how to interact with their children. However, I personally subscribe to a mixed method. Depending on my children, the fine mentality subject, because fine is the person's perspective. No one else's, however, to teach his own. Lauren came back. She said, I think my opinion tends to be unpopular based on the rebuttals I receive. A key here is that there are always exceptions to the rule. You and I are exceptions. We're not violent people. However, you will never convince me that getting beat by the people who are supposed to protect you doesn't lead to violence in some cases. I stand firm in my opinion that this has hurt us as people. On some level, we know it's wrong. If we truly felt it was okay to use violence to teach others lessons, we'd walk around hitting people on a daily basis. But we don't, because deep down, we know it's wrong. We can somehow use restraint when an adult pisses you off, but no restraint for a defenseless child. For the sake of debate, even if I agree that violence is discipline, this should be the absolute last resort, not to go to the form of parenting simply because people are too lazy to use their other methods. Lauren also said, might I add, Carrie, you have wonderful, well-behaved, respectful children that didn't need to get beat, which is true.
Tell us how you really feel.
Word, yo, Woman went off. I felt like I was reading that for like 10 minutes.
Well, no, it's people are passionate, and I'm gonna sum it all up once you finish.
Okay. A couple more comments. Shout out to Najina Thompson. She said both. Chris Childs, he said that shit built character. Just look at how the kids who didn't get their ass whooped act. Sean Larkins, depending on the person giving and receiving. Some people do it because they lack communication skills, and that's what you pass on. It didn't help me personally because I don't beat my daughter, but I have to catch myself because I get angry with her, and I'm not the one that did a bad job communicating with her, and it takes her confidence away. Shout out to Bella and Mia's party creation. She said both. Wilma came back on. She said it definitely helped me. Never saw it as abuse, even when I got older. It was called consequences and repercussions for not doing what you were told. Big difference to abuse, which to me is getting your ass handed to you for absolutely no reason, just because. Shout out to Anna Evans. She said it helped her. Tony, I'm gonna kill him, man. Tony. Tony said, I ain't killed nobody, robbed nobody, shot up no school, and I'd like to think that getting whooped had something to do with it. I'm definitely not better off without it. I often think about how I would be without it, and often, given the attitude I have, I probably would have gotten into some serious shit. In my opinion, there are certain things to be grateful for, and I am grateful for my whoopings. Everyone has their way of disciplining, and choosing not to spank your child is one way. But I'm sure those parents would be hard pressured to find more effective manner of discipline, especially if the child has a tendency to be hard-headed or a repeat offender like I was. I believe there's a difference between child abuse and spankings. Stefan Gonzalez, he said it helps, but you could tear a new belt from the marks made from the beating. I never hit my kids. Yelled a lot, but nothing physical. And my cousin, Christine Davis, shout out to her with the last comment. She said, I didn't get many whoopings, just a lot of you must have lost your goddamn mind. But for the discipline that I received as a child, I say thank you, Mama and Daddy, because the discipline, because it disciplined me for the world that we live in today. So that's the comments on the ass whoopings and spankings. I don't spank my kids. When Anthony was little, I was young. I was 17 when I had him, 18, really 19 when I was dealing with him, wanting to go out, party, shit like that. He used to do things to me. It wasn't a spanking, like if I felt like he was too far up my ass or just not giving me the personal space that I needed, I would pop his hand. And then I would feel bad about doing that. And then there was one time, right after I had Alicia had to have been about 6 months old, and Anthony and Alicia are 5 years apart. So Alicia was crying in her crib, and Anthony thought he was going to take the liberty of going to go get her himself, picked her up out the crib, and threw her on the floor to get her to stop crying. Once I heard Alicia screaming more, I went to go in the room, and I see Anthony standing over her. And Anthony and Alicia, he never liked her because he was so used to being the only child, and then here she comes.
Right.
I went to chase Anthony, and when I went to chase him to hit him, he hit the doorknob. Like, you know how the lock on the doorknob has, like, you have one on yours. It's like a line.
Right.
You turn the lock. And the mark clearly went across his nose. As soon as he ran into the doorknob, I see blood gushing everywhere. Everywhere.
Oh,
Anthony is knocked out on the floor. I have to rush him to the emergency room. While I'm in the emergency room, next thing you know, here come motherfucking diapers. And the motherfuckers haven't left me alone since then. 21 years later, it's always something. So I chose not to discipline my kids not only because of what it did to me, and I have daughters. I would never want my daughters sitting around getting beaten up like how I used to and how I did for years by men, and thinking that it's okay and it's a way that they're showing that they love them.
Right.
That's what happened with me. But I never needed to use like a whooping, a belt or anything on the kids because I know what it did.
Right.
So that's my opinion on it. What do you think?
I agree with Tone. There's I want to say a thin line. I think it's a huge line between discipline and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some parents who didn't want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
and had them at the time. Well, I would say some parents didn't want to have kids and they had them. Some weren't ready for parenthood, but was forced into it, and they grew up with that animosity and that hatred, and that becomes abuse. For your father just to be whipping y'all like that, like I said, there's discipline, there's abuse. That's abuse there. So it obviously shows the fact of you growing the way you did with the way you did showed that as long as if you had that, that showed love and caring and so forth.
Yeah, like he's wanting me to be better.
Right.
So he's hitting me because he's showing me that I can be better.
No, there's a way to do it.
Right.
I've always ruled with fear. I think I may have put my hands on my son once and never on my daughter. I'm a big guy. I've always been hood type-ish, so I've always come off really aggressive. So that, to me, was the fear. You know, even to this day, like my son, I just got to raise my voice and give him that look or raise up on him. And that's all I need to do. But there are some kids out there in other situations, you have to lay hands on. And for those religious people out there, the Bible even tells you, spare the rod, spoil the child. But obviously it's not telling you to fucking throw your child in front of a fucking Mack truck. Right. So there's a way to discipline or even spank your kids where it is respectful.
Right.
But again, I'm older. I'm 46, so I'm the type of person I was told to go out and get my Switch, and I bet not come in with no little ass Switch.
I would have went and got the littlest.
Yeah, and then you got whipped with that and everything else they wouldn't put their hands on, which taught you not to go get the little one.
Imagine a Dr. Brown.
Hey, but it's just more. Shit, I got hit with worse than that.
Oh,
but it's just more lines of understanding the child and understanding how far you can go. There are some kids who are tough, and even kids who came from the same parent. And this is why you have so many different mentalities within siblings. Some can take more than others. Some can't. And especially if there's the first child, the last child, the middle child. You have 5 kids. It's someone really in the middle. A lot of kids are going to grow up with different personalities because, again, Anthony was ruled with a firmer hand than the rest of your kids. Yeah. So they're going to be different mentalities. And the fact they have different fathers, even though they're in the same household, there's so many other things that can be added into that.
You know, and I see it. And it's crazy because I got my older kids who, you know, their dad was around, but he disciplined them from afar. Like Alicia knows I don't got to worry about shit my dad's going to say because, you know, we only see him like every 5 years and he doesn't call. Then you got Henry, who's very involved with his kids like every fucking day. And his kids are the worst kids out of all of my kids.
Well, especially the older ones saw Henry whip your ass.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The respect, and it's sad to say, but the respect for you isn't there.
The respect for me isn't there. The respect for him isn't there. The respect for my whole situation is not there.
I don't care. Paris is a sweetheart. I don't give a fuck what you say.
She is a sweetheart.
But
she be at home twerking and stuff right in front of her father. And
hey, it's the generation.
Yeah,
she can't do no wrong in my book. But
yeah, you know what?
She a little sweetheart. But no, again, it's the things they seen.
Yeah.
The situation, and unfortunately, they're going to learn their discipline in a different way, and it's going to be life experience wise. But again, you know, I really never had to really lay the hand because I've always had that aggressive mentality. For me, I've always been that aggressor, that deep voice, what the fuck you doing type stuff. So I never really had to lay hands. But I believe, yes, you have to discipline your kids. There are different ways. You have some that can do it to where you don't have to lay hands. And they got some kids that need to be fucked up. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. There are a lot of kids out here that didn't get the discipline. and they're borderline serial killers walking around because of lack of discipline and the lack of love and empathy. And you can't expect no one to, whether the two parents are there or not there, to know love if they never experienced it.
Right.
They don't know what it is.
Right.
So you can't tell them this is what it is, and you like, it's a foreign thing to them because they never experienced it and they never seen it.
Oh, let me show you, baby. I've been listening to that Music Soul Child song, "Teach Me How to Love."
Right.
I'm like, oh, see, like, you know, it's cool not to know. Some people
It's not.
don't.
It's not. We should know what makes us feel good.
Yeah.
But then again, especially it's a little different now because men just don't show the fuck up and disappear. Where as far as back in the days, men were taught you don't do that. And then they're just in a house fucking miserable and then they take it out on the kids.
Right.
I think what really structured me also was when my mother sent me to Louisiana for 2 years. I lived with my sister, and her husband beat the living shit out of her. So bad that she wound up getting cancer in her breast and stuff.
Damn.
And that's what eventually wound up killing her. But the day that stand out to me was the day his sons dragged his ass all over the kitchen floor. And I laugh to this day because I've never seen a grown man slide on the floor like I did with this nigga because all the potatoes and shit was on the floor, potato salad, and they was sliding that nigga all over the floor. But the argument came because they started to grill without him. So that just goes to show you the mentality of the person. They didn't do anything bad. They just started to grill. Everyone's hungry. You're at work. You worked late. And all they didn't put anything on the grill. They just started to grill before him. And he went towards my sister, their mother. And that was the straw that broke the camel back. And they whipped this nigga ass.
Yeah.
And the part that fucked me up was the fact that she put her body over his to protect him, even though this man whipped her ass for years.
That's crazy.
So that mentality, it stuck with me.
Of course.
And you're looking at something and you're like, yo, whoa, what the fuck is love?
Yeah.
Because this man tells her he loves her.
Right.
You know, we're eating powdered eggs. This nigga eating steak with steak French fries. Like, this nigga eating good. We're eating powdered eggs, literally. You take the powder, you mix it with water, and it's eggs.
Wow.
So, like, you get confused of what love actually is.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, good topics.
Absolutely.
Really good topics. When I saw this, I was like, I gotta put this up. Don't beat your kids, guys. If you're gonna discipline them and tell them the reason why you're doing it. Don't just hit them. It'll help you in the long run. All right. So before we get ready to wrap it up, if we could just one more time get my boy up on the screen again, in case anybody didn't see it. Mr. Biddy Townsend. This is his information on Instagram. This is his page. This is his clothing line. I've seen sneakers. I've seen hats. I've seen shirts. I think I've seen sweaters. Make sure you get yourself one. Black-owned business. I went to high school with him. He's a good dude. Got me my shirt in a good time in. If we can put the camera back on me. It even came in a cute little bag that I'm definitely carrying around. I'm going to put my stuff in it and walk around ShopRite with it and see whose attention I can get. When I put the shirt on, it was on my way here. My dad was like, "Oh, that's a nice shirt, Carol. What does it say?" See you later, Daddy. But all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of Grown Talk with Goddess. I appreciate it. For any comments, make sure you hit me up for the topics for next week. I don't know what they are yet, but comments on any of my Facebook pages or social media. Big shout out to Maya again for finding me after watching the show. Thank you. Hope you're watching tonight. If not, it'll be posted up in a couple of days when Truth has time to send it to me. But we'll get it so that you guys can see it.
I almost said something to you. It was
Shut up.
disrespectful shit too. Now it'll be ready tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, Truth been busy recording Trapped in the Closet volumes 1 through 18. So
I've been busy at work. Like, I swear to goodness, like I've been there for about a year in October, and I could say I did more work in that week than I've done the whole year.
that's what you get.
I ain't lying.
No, I'm playing with you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Stay healthy.